Welcome to Conversations with Masesi, where my guest and I talk about life, love, community, family, and everything in between. Special memories have to be preserved, and this requires forethought and some work, but the rewards are quite wonderful. I would add that special memories and traditions can and should be created. Joining me today is our coach, Sylvie, who will talk to us about how we can create those memories.
We can view our home as a museum for memories because this gives a sense of continuity and history about ourselves. And using our home as a physical repository for our memories, experiences, personal artifacts represents our family history. We can physically put display some meaningful objects in our home, photos, mementos, and having these meaningful objects helps us to remember stories about what we did in the past with our families and share our experiences.
That is awesome because you know how we all like reading the memoirs of whoever is a celebrity or whoever we hold close to our hearts. And that gives you an insight of their lives, how they were brought up, where they were brought up, and how things were for them, or the changes they've made, and what drove them to make those changes. And I like it when you say, it gives us a sense of identity, who we are, what we stand for, and that translates to how we show up in our communities. Yes. So I like that. But now my thinking is, okay, I have this, I know who I am, but it's about the memories. Why do we need them?
Well, it gives you that connection with your roots, who you really are, where do you come from. It has a link with your past, the present, and the future. And it helps us with our identity, our insight into the cultural, our social and personal identity, who we really are. And when we have that greater understanding, that self-awareness, it helps us shape our values, our beliefs, and also our behaviors.
That's right. And I would like to pivot a little bit because here in Saskatoon, you might think, I have nothing to do. Where do I create memories? Do I only walk downtown to take pictures and create memories? But I'm here to say to everybody that's watching and listening and is in Saskatoon, this is the fall. We have programs that are starting up where you can take your children to, or you can go volunteer as a family. Take those pictures, create memories, write stories about it. And if you have a small one, maybe when you take a picture, I suggest create an email for them. And you take a picture, write a story, email it to them. When they're older, they look back.
I love that.
And they're thinking, oh, this is what we did as a family. And that shapes everybody or those involved in the family with choosing careers because when we have this others attitude, it's a good thing as a family, and that's how we create memories. That's how we'll be known for. So if you're in Saskatoon, you have children that are the little ones. We have programs for mothers, new mothers. We have programs for children when they are 9 to 12 with the Navy League. I enjoy such programs because you take pictures of them in uniform. When they're older, you can share it, or even on their wedding day. That will be a good memory to share. And when they're like 12 to 19, you take them to Sea Cadet, you take them to Air Cadet, you take them to the Army. But most importantly, like everybody can see that we're wearing poppies today. All those programs expose our children to how to be part of a community, serve the community, preserve the legacy of the community and what's happening around all of us. And with that, we create memories that, as a family, this is what we stand for, this is what we did, because that continues on, and we can tell stories about it.
Children love hearing stories about their parents when they were younger, and also when their grandparents were little kids.
Yes.
And when they learn about their ancestors, they learn about how their grandparents grew up, or even their parents grew up. This can become a motivation for them to achieve their goals, to achieve what their grandparents did, or maybe even better.
That's right.
Because our reality is different than what our parents went through and what our grandparents went through. Children are always listening, so they are learning through all of that sharing of our stories.
Yes. I have great stories. You touched on things that our grandparents did. I always say I stand on shoulders of great people. My grandmother left a rural place where she was abused by my grandfather with 7 children, put them on a train at 2 a.m. So when I look at the courageous thing that she did and the stories that she told about how that came about, the planning and all that, it's those kind of stories that give me courage not to complain when I don't have cold water. You know how we will complain about small things, but it's those kind of stories that reminds us who we are, reminds us where we come from and whose we are.
Exactly.
Because we stand on those shoulders and we take those stories and we tell our children to be strong, to be courageous, because remember who your grandmother is.
And that fosters a connection between the families, and it gets the bond stronger.
Yes.
Between the family, knowing those stories. And that is a beautiful story about how courageous she was.
That's right.
Yes.
And the other memory that I have of my grandmother, you can tell that I love her a lot. Every Thursday, she used to call it Sheila's Day, and she would go shopping. So Thursdays were the best days because we'll get fries from her, and she'll buy anything we need without questions being asked. And that memory for me, it's so good. I hold on to that. I can even smell those. So when I go to those kind of stores where they sell those kind of fries, I always think about her and remember her. So it's the good memory that I have. That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yes. And that's the memory I pass on to my children as well. And try to say, okay, that was my memory. Let's create our own by doing so many things that we do right here in the city of Saskatoon, right here in our community, right here in our backyards, be it volunteering at the Friendship Inn, you're creating a memory that teaches your children, the others attitude, that teaches them servanthood, because if we want to be raising a generation that's great, we better teach them to serve.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we do. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
But to sum it all up, I think overall viewing the home as a museum for memories allows families to maintain a sense of continuity, understanding their history, to foster and share identity. It provides a tangible connection to the past, strengthens family bonds, and promotes a deeper appreciation of one's roots and heritage. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms to keep the conversation going. Thank you for joining us on Conversations. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you and yours. Shalom.